All right, we're going to go through this thing. Question 1. Was it the correct property to multiply the 2x minus 5 and the x plus 1? No. So all of this was a waste. What should they have changed it into? Division, right? Now, when you say division, do you mean log divided by log? No. A single log, and the argument is a fraction. Alright? I don't want to see somebody changing that, doing log over log, because that's not true. Okay, now what are you going to do? Change it to its exponential form. You have got to be able to look at a single log and say, oh, I can't solve it like that. I should change it to its exponential form. Now, is 3 to the 4th correct? Yes, 3 to the 4th was correct. It was just the other side that was completely wrong. All right. We know that 3 to the 4th is 81. Now what? Yeah, it's a proportion, right? Cross multiply that. So 2x minus 5 equals 81, x plus 81. And then, of course, now it's an Algebra 1 question. And, you know, you're moving your constants to one side and your variables to the other, right? And you get 79x equals negative 86. And then what? Divide by 79. Is that the answer? Now, what happens if we take that answer and plug it into the original equation? What is negative 86 over 79 plus 1? That's a negative number. Can we take the logarithm of a negative number? Oh, man, no solution. Don't forget to check answers to see if they work in the original equation. Question 2, did this person do it correctly? Yep, they did log of the argument on top, log of the old base on the bottom, and they were told to choose natural logs, so they did. So that's good. Golden. Full credit. All right, question 3. Did this person take this single log and change it to exponential form correctly? Yeah, base is 8, exponent is negative 3x. It equals the argument, 4th root of 8. Did the person change the 4th root into the 1/4 power correctly? So the only thing wrong with this person's work is they didn't finish. They just stopped in the middle. We've got equal sides. We've got the bases the same. What do we know about the exponents? They are the same, so this person should have continued. And then, of course, what do we do to get rid of that negative 3? Multiply by the reciprocal, you say? Yeah, we multiply by the reciprocal. Yes, I know that's the same thing as division by negative 3. And so you could say, negative 1/12. Of course, we can see on question 4, this person gave up. Now, I don't want you to be like this because this is an exponential form. What do we do with it when it's an exponential form? Change it to its log form, right? And remember, I use boxes. I don't care if you use boxes or don't use boxes. That's up to you, right? What's the base? 4. What's the exponent that goes on the other side? Log base 4 of 9. It's right there, folks. That exponent, sorry, I accidentally circled the 4 there, but that exponent's sitting right up there. That only leaves one thing left, which is x. This should be easy at this point. Oh my goodness. Interruptions. Seriously. Volume control. so, what's x? What's x? 9, thank you. If the bases of the logs are the same, folks, the arguments have to be equal as well. All right, did this person change it into exponential form correctly? The base is 2/3, the exponent is 3. That leaves you equal to the argument x. So the only question we have left is 2 to the third 8 and is 3 to the third 27? All right, dang, that's a good answer. On the next one, did the person move the 5 and the 2 over correctly? They did. All right, so my only problem with them is that they did not do anything inside here, which I've instructed you to do. I said to you, fireproof form is going to show you what you need, and you need a 1x inside there. What are you going to multiply this by? How do you go from -3 to +1? Multiply by what? -1/3. Multiply by the reciprocal. Stay with me. Don't go to the light. Okay. Okay. So, I distribute the -1/3. We get x, and what else? -2, right? And on the bottom, obviously, -1/3. So, do we have a vertical stretch by 2? Do we have a vertical stretch by 2? We do. That's good. Do we have a horizontal stretch? No, we got to shrink by 1/3. You mean like y plus 5 over 2 equals log x minus 2 over -1/3? Well, this is fireproof form right up here. So all you'd have to do is, this is all you're doing is a little bit of algebra for what's on the inside. Okay, so did it move left 6? No, it moved right 2. Did it move down 5? Yes, it did. Was the reflection across the x-axis? No, there's no negative on the 2. The negative's on the x side, which means it went across the y-axis. Okay, question 7. It looks like this person saw multiplication and split it into 2 using property number 1, and they saw the multiplication and they made it addition. Is that a correct step? Yes. Did they leave it in expanded form? No. What did they forget to do? Because evidently they don't like to. They didn't move it. So, we shall move it because we like to. On question 8, about the only thing I could give this person credit for is they took the 3 and they moved it up and they made it an exponent on the x. Other than that, they didn't do anything else correct. But they at least did that. Should they have done the same thing with the 8? Yes, they should have. Should have moved it up. Alright, so that would be log base 2 of x cubed minus log base 2 of y to the 8th. Now, in this person's mind, they thought division was supposed to happen because they saw subtraction. And yes, you and I know that that is true, but they butchered it. They made up their own property. This does not look like a single log. There's like a log on top and a log on the bottom. Yeah, we just want a 1 log, and we're taking the x cubed and the y to the 8th, and we're using those to create the single log. Yeah, but they completely butchered that property. Like I said, the only thing they did was move the 3 up, and that was correct. Question 9, is division by 8 a good first step? Is division by 8 a good first step? Yes, that's good. All right, so we got that part. So then they saw that this was exponential, and so they said, let's change it to log form. Did they change it to log form correctly? What did they do wrong? It's natural log, folks, because it's base E. It says it's base E. So we would choose natural log for this. Is the natural log of 2.625 something you can type on a calculator? Sure thing. But ain't nobody going to know what that is, so you better actually type it on a calculator. Otherwise, we ain't going to do this. Natural log 2.625, and we get 0.965. Something like that. You better all be able to handle it from there. All we're doing is adding the 7 and dividing by 4. So we get an x value of 1.99 or something like that. Okay, question 10. I don't know why I have a non-blank copy for that. Alright, so let's see here. We're starting with the natural log of x, and we're being told to change it to base 10. How do I change that to base 10? No, it is not base 10. Show me on your page right now how to change that y equals ln x to base 10. Yes, log of the argument over log of the old base. Log of the argument over log of the old base. Think about what the old base is. So some of you are getting the log x part in the numerator correct. You got this part right, but the bottom was falling apart here. What's the old base? E. So you should have written log E on the bottom. Some of you are writing log 10, and I'm like, well, wait a sec. The old base wasn't 10. The old base is something different. It was E. Now, so that's using the change of base, right? What did we do with this when we did this in our example? Didn't we split it into two fractions? One of them was log x. What was the other one? 1 over log e. Is 1 over log e something you can type on a calculator? Okay, you should be finding that number right now. You mean how I split it up? So if I multiply these together, I'd get back to the... Okay, so that's all I was doing is separating them. Is it 2.303? It sure is. When we type that. Now, for those of you, there is an E button on your calculator. It's right above your division key. You can see E right there. That's the one I used. But if you would rather use this one over here, the E to the X button, which is above your natural log button, you could do that one divided by log. But if you use that one, then you have to specify the exponent. So you'd have to actually tell it the exponent is a 1. But you can still do it that way too. 2.303. Okay, so what do we got going on here? Vertical stretch by 2.303. Is that correct? Yeah, that's bigger than 1. How about horizontal? None. How about left and right? None. Up and down? None. Any reflections? Besides a misspelled word? No reflections at all. How nice. Es muy simpático. Any questions about these that we've done on our practice test?